We've all been waiting for Cowboy Bebop to release because Netflix has a terrible track record when it comes to taking animated properties and adapting them into live actions, and the first looks at this show weren't amazing. I was disappointed with Daniela Pineda attacking fans for simply wanting Faye in an accurate outfit. I had a lot of worries about John Cho playing Spike, and the sets looked bad during the teasers, but critics have been giving it terrible reviews, and now the user scores for this show are out, and it is abysmal. The ratings for this series are absolutely terrible, and it looks like Cowboy Bebop is a big flop for Netflix. But before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted, and if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So let's head on over to the Rotten Tomatoes scores for this series, and spoiler alert warning, even though Cowboy Bebop originally came out in 1998, the pacing with this show is a little bit different and the whole series isn't completely the same and it's not all released, and I haven't seen the full season yet, but I've seen a few episodes and I can definitely tell so far that it's not very good. But looking at the critic and audience score, the critic score is sitting at a 51% and the audience score is sitting at a 52, and this has actually gone up a couple of points since yesterday, because yesterday it was sitting at a 48% reviewer and a 49, I believe, audience. So it's gone up a couple of points, but those couple of points do not matter. This show is still rotten. So it seems like from the ratings, people either love it or they hate it. We saw that with the critic scores. A lot of critics were saying they really liked it. They thought it was a good adaptation. And then we saw some critics saying it was absolutely terrible. And the audience scores seem to be the same. So the first one that's here says, why do they keep hiring these condescending Puritan moral busybodies who think they know better than the original writer and creator? Another show ruined. Half a star, not even a full star. People giving it a 2 out of 5, saying what they did do good was very good, however much was bad. Ruining Valentine's character was horrific. Half a star here an hour ago. Another live action series whose existence is best ignored. It's very obvious the showrunners don't understand the source material and why Cowboy Bebop is such a cult classic and loved so deeply throughout the anime community. This series couldn't figure out if it wanted to stay true to the anime or be something completely original, and it failed miserably at both. The parts that tried to stay true to the anime are done in such a hollow, rushed, and at times cringy manner that it loses all emotional impact that the original had. Now, from the few episodes that I've personally seen, I'm not a huge fan of it. John Cho isn't a bad actor, don't get me wrong, but Spike's a reckless 27-year-old, and John Cho can't play that part. He's just too old to be playing this character, and it's really sad to say because I was thinking at first that I'd like Spike the most, but actually, I like Jet the most. I think so far Shakir's been spot on with the character. He sounds the part, he acts the part, and I'm happy so far with Jet. I think that so far he is definitely my favorite character, besides Ayn, of course, because Ayn is always going to be the star of the show. But with Faye, yeah, it's kind of a disaster. Sometimes scenes are well done, like when they've got her locked in the bathroom in episode 1 where she's like, so want to split 50-50? Hello? Guys, are you still there? It's just classic Faye, yet most of the scenes, she's calling them idiots and dumbasses, and while it fits to a certain extent, it feels way overdone. It just doesn't feel natural, and it just doesn't feel like Faye. And of course, Ayn is amazing. I don't think I have anything bad to say about Ayn, nor would I ever, but scrolling down, there are a couple of 4s and 5s here saying, oh, I'm a longtime fan of the anime series, and this was absolutely amazing. Spot on as an avid anime lover. I walked into this thinking it would be like other live actions. It's not. I liked it. I completely disagree. I think it's like all of the other live action adaptations. It's not good. It's not good at all. So on the next page, there's lots of 1 and 2 stars. Someone said amateurish, boring, horrible acting, nothing at all like the original Cowboy Bebop anime. And Ed, really? Sorry, I just couldn't get past the first few episodes, complete waste of time, but I had to try. And story-wise, from what I've seen so far, it's not super off pace with the original. It's nothing like a Death Note where it's very different, but the pacing doesn't seem terrible, which is a positive, but again, I haven't seen the whole series yet, so I don't have a fully formed opinion. And they tried to recreate the Western atmosphere, but it's clearly a downgrade from the anime. You can see and feel that they're trying, but they just didn't hit it. Firefly didn't actually seem like a downgraded Western, and I was hoping they were going to go in more of that direction, and it doesn't seem like they nailed it. You know, in Firefly, they were able to nail that old Western feeling, but they just couldn't do it here. The CGI in the show seems really good, like 70% of the budget went to the graphics good, which isn't terrible, but maybe they could have put a bit more into sets because some of the scenes were just terrible when it comes to the sets. They were boring, they were bland, and they just didn't have that Cowboy Bebop feeling to them. In some of the scenes throughout the show, they didn't royally screw up, but you've got some cheesy action thrown in there, some lame dialogue, changes with characters, and you quickly realize how imperfect it really is. So there's another 5-star here, and they said, I loved it. There are some additions and changes to the anime, but overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more. And if you enjoyed season 1, good for you. I want people to go into things with an open mind, trying to like them, not instantly hating them. But for me personally, as a fan of Cowboy Bebop, I am not a fan of this, you know, live action. I think that it's really, really low quality so far. I feel like it just doesn't hit any of the notes that it would need for it to feel like a Cowboy Bebop experience, and I'm really disappointed with what I've seen. Now, heading on over to Metacritic, it's at a 47 Metascore and a 3.0 user score. This is getting terrible, terrible reviews right now, and I understand why. I'm not saying I don't. But all of these are zeros, a couple of ones thrown in here, so many negatives. 59 negatives compared to 21 positives. The first 0 says, in a weird way, I have to give them some credit. There are a lot of really awful live-action anime adaptations, but this might be the worst of all, fitting that it's based on the greatest anime ever. Would rate it a -10 if I could. Now, I see a lot of people here bringing up the characters and bringing specifically up Ed, which I do think is important to talk about because I do know that Ed shows up. I've seen clips around the internet, and I want to say they tried, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because Ed is at least wearing an accurate outfit, and some of the movements seem okay, but I could find no information on the actor, and at first, I couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl, but going online, this actor has done no other work besides Cowboy Bebop, and they identify as non-binary, even though they've got to be around 13 because Ed is supposed to be 13, so we have no clue if they're going to do that to Ed, if they're going to make Ed non-binary, and I hope not, because Ed is a girl, and she even confirms it in the original anime, but Ed's scene came off pretty cringy, and I hate using that word, but it did come off pretty cringe. Again, they tried, but this is a prime example as to why companies shouldn't try to recreate anime, because it just doesn't look good, and it doesn't seem right, and Ed isn't a character I can see translating to live action well at all based on what we saw in the first scene with her. Now, Ed has always been very over-the-top and weird and wacky, and I think some of that shows here, but over the past few months, the creators of this live action have been talking about, oh, how Faye couldn't wear a sexier outfit that was accurate to the anime because of realism. Real people had to wear it, and they wanted the characters to seem real. Yet with Ed, they went way over the top with the acting, with the hair, with the outfit, with all of it, as if they wanted to make the character anime accurate. So what is it here? Were they going for a hint of realism with the series or not? I truly can't tell. And no matter what the answer would be, it's not going to save the show anyway. Like I always say, I try to go into things with a positive outlook, hoping it's going to turn out to be the best that it can be. But unfortunately, Cowboy Bebop 2021 is an absolute disaster. Once I finish the series, I will be doing a video again on it. I'm sure I'll be talking about it in live streams, but that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, subscribe to the channel, and of course if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.